Welcome to Real Wisdom with NK, a Midwest Film Festival podcast where each week we explore the journeys, insights, and lessons from the incredible filmmakers and creatives shaping Midwest cinema. Today I had the incredible opportunity to sit down with Sandra and Raul to discuss demystifying the art of film festival programming. And we really had the opportunity to drill down on what are the basic things that filmmakers need to be doing to make sure that their work gets noticed, and what are the main things that they're doing that actually stop their work from being programmed. We're demystifying the art of film festival programming. I was so intrigued to hear all the different ways that festivals program, how they think about programming, and the people that they're programming for, and the unique ability that both of these programmers had to share with their audience and the filmmakers that want to be a part of their audience and their program, how they need to be shaping their work to have the best chance of actually being seen, being programmed, and being part of this larger global conversation that is created at the indie level. Joining us today, we have Raul Benitez, an incredible Latino film programmer who has been shaping Chicago cinema for nearly 2 decades. Raul currently serves as the senior programmer at Midwest Film Festival and the Comfort Film Manager at Comfort Station, while he also is programming for the Chicago Underground and Des Moines Latino Film Festivals. Also joining us today, we have Sandra Bernal Aristizábal, the programming manager for the Chicago Latino Film Festival and a skilled cultural manager with a master's in arts and culture management. She has built a powerful background in international public diplomacy while working directly within the British and Swedish embassies. Today, she leverages that expertise to consult for global nonprofits and to organize large-scale events. I'm super excited to be here with these incredible humans, Sandra and Raul, and we have a little cafecito, right? A little salud to get started, right? And how do y'all take your coffee?
I take mine with tons of cream.
Tons of cream? Yeah, like, are you like full leaded cream? Are you one of the oat milk, almond milk people?
No, I'm like regular whole milk cream.
Like straight out of the cow.
Yep.
I love it. And Sandra?
I love it as Colombians do. We said a tintico. Which is a tinto, right? Tintico, which is just straight coffee, and this is the perfect one. So thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. I like mine nothing but the cafe, and I do oat milk though, like leche de avena. It's my little, and sometimes I like it darker. Sometimes, every now and then, I'll have it like nothing, but I like a little bit of like oat milk in mine. So I'm really excited to be here with y'all. You all are at the pulse of really the heart of indie film and what it requires to create a space where people get to gather and watch films that otherwise probably wouldn't be noticed. And there's a lot that goes into it, and there's a lot of things that people don't understand about film programming and film festival programming, especially filmmakers who desperately want to be in the film industry, and I'm sure you've experienced that many times. But the first thing I want to know is how you all both got into what you're doing now. Like, how does one become a film programmer?
You guys both look at me at once.
Right, like, how do you, like, Raul?
I started actually as a volunteer for Chicago Underground Film Festival about 17 years ago. I had a friend that was volunteering for them, and she had asked me if I wanted to be a volunteer. So I ended up being a volunteer with them, and as I volunteered with them through the years, my position in the festival progressed to the point where I was doing programming. Back when I first started, when I started watching films for them, we actually had physical media. So they would give me a bag of like DVDs.
Wow.
And like VHS tapes. I'd go home and watch those. Then obviously now everything's online, so we don't have to carry around like bags of DVDs like we used to. I used to carry like bags of like 30, 40 DVDs to take home and watch. Oh my goodness. Because the filmmakers would just mail you their DVDs.
I remember mailing mine in.
But yeah, that's basically how I started off, and then I ended up getting an art space in at Logan Square, Comfort Station. They were looking for a new film person at one point, and so they did a shout out looking for somebody. So they asked people to meet them at this coffee shop at Logan Square. So that day, I was like double thinking where I should go or not, because there was a very bad snowstorm that day, like super bad. And so I was like, should I really go to this thing? And then, because I was living in Albany Parks then, so I ended up going anyway in the middle of a snowstorm, and I was the only person that showed up, and they just handed me the job, basically, because no one else was there. And I mean, I had the credentials by that time doing programming for Chicago Underground already, so obviously that helped me. And so I've been with them now over 10 years, programming their Wednesday film series at their art space. It's basically a micro cinema inside of an art space. And we do films there every Wednesday. And so once I got that position, then, things started really rolling as far as programming for me, programming gigs, because people pay attention to what you're doing. And
right.
I got into that New City Film 50 thing the second year.
Several times, right?
Yeah, I'm in the I'm in the Hall of Fame now.
Fame, yes.
I'm in the Hall of Fame now.
Right,
yeah,
flip
sure.
your hair, flip your hair.
Yeah,
yeah.
But getting into that exposed me more, and I was able to get gigs from that. And I got asked to do Midwest Film Festival. The same year, I got asked by the Chicago International Film Festival to program the After Dark series. So it all kind of like took off after that. So that's basically how I started.
Thank you so much for sharing that. There's 2 follow-up questions I have for you. The first one is, do you remember your first day of volunteering at the festival and what you did?
Wow, that's a great question. I don't remember.
Were you taking tickets? Were you sweeping floors? I was taking
tickets. I took tickets. I've done a lot for Chicago Underground. I took tickets. I picked up filmmakers at the airport. Watched movies for them. All kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That first year I was at the festival, we were at 3 Penny Cinema, which is not there anymore, which was on Lincoln Avenue. It was across the street from the Biograph.
Okay. Oh yeah, Biograph.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the first one that I was at, and then at the time, Chicago Underground had different venues. So every year we'd be at a different space. But I think I was just taking tickets mostly, stuff like that.
Okay.
That I can remember. That's been a long time ago.
I know, 17 years. I asked that for a specific reason, but we'll circle the block on the why. But there's a reason I asked that. And then share all of the festivals that you're currently programming for.
So right now I'm currently programming the Midwest Film Festival, and then I'm in the middle of helping program the Chicago Underground Film Festival again this year. This year I'm several programming committees, like screening committees. So I'm on a screening committee for the Ann Arbor Film Festival. I'm also on a screening committee for the Camden International Film Festival, which is all documentary film festival.
Oh, dope.
Also programming Conversation Logan Square, but our season is very short this year because they're remodeling our building in September. So normally we program from March to November, October. This year we're only programming to September because of the remodel. So that's what I'm doing currently as programming wise right now.
Amazing. Okay. And Sandra, let's talk a little bit about your journey into this work, because you didn't come to it through, I don't think it came from volunteering and taking tickets. You're a cultural worker, and you've done things with the Pope. You've done things with the British and Swedish embassies,
in Colombia.
In Colombia. And so, tell us a little more about what your history is with cultural work and how it led you to film festivals.
Well, first of all, thank you very much, NK, for the invitation. I feel super honored of being here sharing this place with Raul, because of you just heard he has an amazing experience. My journey has been different, though. Yes, I come from Colombia, and I landed in Chicago 4 years ago.
Okay.
I was in contact with our founder and executive director, Pepe Vargas, for many years. And I always told to Pepe, I'm coming to Chicago at some point. I was in a long distance relationship.
With Chicago?
Yeah, with my husband.
Oh, with your husband?
Yeah, at the time with my boyfriend. So I knew I was coming at some point to live here. And then I just found the festival. And since then, I was saying to Pepe, I'm coming to Chicago at some point. When I get there, please,
give me a job.
Give me an opportunity, right? Give me an opportunity. While that happened, I was working with as you mentioned, with the Swedish embassy as their cultural attaché. So I have been more in the cultural management side, just thinking about cultural projects, how to promote culture, how to create cultural events that get together community, that strengthen links. So at the time I was working with a book fair in Bogota, beautiful project in there in Bogota. But then when I got here, I told Pepe, I told you I'm here, and he, in a super generous way, opened me the doors for the Chicago Latino Film Festival. And I just finished my 4th festival in the city. Just getting into my 4th year in Chicago, so I am very honored to have the chance not just to be part of the festival, but also to get together with colleagues that have surrounded me in a very generous way, Raul, Pepe, and particularly in programming, Alejandro Riera, which he's a film critic, but also a journalist, but a Latino film critic for a long time. He has been working with the festival for a long time, so he has been a very important mentor for me. Getting to your question, my path has been more related to the general management and programming, how to program cultural events. Then I got into the details of filming and features and short films and how we can get together to showcase our culture. Our last festival was 51 features and 31 short films.
51 features.
Right.
Oh, my goodness.
Representing over 22 countries. So we have a big responsibility just to have every single of our countries the opportunity of being represented.
Right.
And be part of our programming. So that's how I'm still learning, but I'm so happy and honored to be here.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you for sharing that. That's incredible. 51 features. That's going to take, I got whiplash from that. For those of us that are listening right now that don't know, what exactly is the role of a programmer? Like, what does that entail? And that's for either one of you. Want to start first?
I think, the
other than carrying 50 heavy, well, I mean, you no longer have to do that, but you know, DVDs and VHS to have to watch.
No, but no more. The basics of film programming is that you're basically watching films, reviewing films that are submitted to the festival, but you're also curating what's going to be in the festival out of those submissions. You know, every film festival kind of handles submissions differently. Some festivals do almost all the programming out of submissions, like we do at the Midwest. We do all our programming from submissions. Some festivals, they do a lot of curation where they're looking for films that are not submitted, but they're also programming submitted films. So as a programmer, you're pretty much programming what that festival you're working for is looking for. And also you're curating films and looking at films with the audience of that festival in mind. So for me, like I'm looking at, depending on the festival that I work for, I'm looking for what that festival is looking for and what the audience for that festival is looking for and expecting. So I know I get a lot of questions about like, how do you keep it all in your head, like all these festivals you program for? But for me, it's easier to kind of separate it out because each festival has its own way of doing things and its own, you know, what it's looking for and what the audience is looking for that festival. So that's how I approach it. And so all programmers trying to approach it pretty much the same way, where they're curating for the festival that they're working for and for that audience they're working for.
That's really good to point out, because I think a lot of times there is a misunderstanding about like how it's done and just the understanding that every festival does things differently. And I think that's even where the Film Festival Alliance, being a great tool and organization that I am fortunate to sit on the board of, where it's like we really work to find, I was like, each festival has its own goals, but what are the general operating standards that they should all be meeting to create equity? Right. And because there are a lot of festivals, like not all festivals are made alike. Right. And some of them you are wasting your money submitting to. And, you know, they're like, I know a lot of filmmakers are like, they hear the horror stories about how their films never got watched. And for anybody who's listening, that's not a filmmaker that has never submitted before, you spend money submitting to festivals, right? And if you don't have a plan, which I know my first short film, I didn't have a plan. I didn't know I was supposed to have a plan or understand. I was just like, what a lot of novice filmmakers will do is like, well, of course I want to be at Sundance. Of course I want to be at TIFF. Of course I want to be at Tribeca. And those are the ones that you're submitting to, which is neither good, bad, right, or wrong. But the strategy around understanding who are the audiences for all of these festivals and this particular work that you're submitting right now, does that film festival serve that audience?
Yeah, and also like film schools don't really teach you that.
They don't.
They don't teach you like film festival strategy. They don't teach you how to budget in submission fees.
Exactly.
They don't teach you like once your film gets into a festival, like they don't teach you like what to do there.
What to do there, how much it's going to cost you.
And that's like really, I mean, for film students who are making films, this is really important information they need to know. I know there are film professors out there that do kind of tell students, hey, you got to think about the budget, you got to think about all this other stuff. But normally they don't teach you that, and then that's kind of information that filmmakers and younger filmmakers are wanting to learn about.
Right, and that's go
also,
ahead.
yeah, I just wanted to include to what you were saying is the festivals also give an opportunity for particular projects. So in our case, we are open to receive for over 22 countries that represents the Pan-Latino community. And sometimes it's hard to believe, but people submit from, other Europe or other parts of the world that you said they are paying for that.
Right.
They are paying money to get there. So sometimes it's just a little bit to study and read the criteria.
Read the criteria.
Super basic, might sound super basic, but a lot of people don't do that.
We get that all the time, Raul, constantly. That's like the first part of everything we do at the beginning of the submission season. Like I'm constantly sending things from the info box. I'm like, can you look to see if this person, if this film qualifies? Is it part of the Midwest? And 9 times out of 10, when we get to the point where I'm asking that question, it's not.
Yeah.
And they just don't read.
And exactly. So just another basic example as length.
Yeah. Oh, can we talk about length?
My gosh, it's like for short films, for example, in our case, is 20 minutes top. For feature films is at minimum 70 minutes.
Okay.
Like that's the basic point. If we don't get into our submission that criteria, we don't even check those.
Right.
And that's super basic. So another thing, and Raul mentioned it, is thinking about the audience and trying to get to know the audience. So in our case, it's, of course, the Latino people that is here, the Latino heritage, but also one of our mottos this year was, this is, yes, a Latino made by Latinos, but it's not just for Latinos. It's for everyone.
Right.
It's for film lovers.
Yes.
We just want everyone to connect to our stories and to give the Latino industry a chance because we are creating very high quality film and cinema. And we deserve also a very good spot to show our culture. So if anybody that doesn't speak Spanish, we just make sure that all of the feature films, all of the short films are translated into English. And if we get that opportunity in somebody's life, we just want to make sure that we are showing something worthy.
Yeah.
And they want to come back. So creating new audiences as well. It's also part of it. So some people think about like super A big festivals and some other directors or producers don't think about the Chicago Latino Film Festival because it might be smaller, but they might get more opportunities and get chances of being selected. And that's thinking about the chances of being part of the programming is also another cute little tip that it's a useful one.
It's a very useful one. And again, like you said, it's a very basic thing that people tend to overlook. And then just the reading and the understanding of that and the content that they have and where it would be aligned. There's 2 questions that I have. One is I want to talk a little bit more about length. And then, Raul, you mentioned the festivals, like each one has their own, I'm going to say like flavor, right? They own their own flavor. And so within that, and I think this will be an interesting question, talking about categories, right? And how you create the categories that you're going to be actually programming. And we just went through that process with the reskin, if you will, of how we're doing Midwest Film Festival in this 21st year and the categories. So do you want to speak a little bit about how we came up with those categories this year, the programs that we ended up having?
Well, yeah, and I think a lot of the categories, when we used to do monthly, each month would have its own category or like a theme.
Right.
Is that what you're talking about, themes? And so I think lucky for us, a lot of those themes translated to this year's like shortened festival. And I think a lot of times the themes kind of come up from just kind of like the films we're picking.
Exactly.
So, but that, a lot of times that doesn't always work that way. I mean, sometimes, I do know programmers that kind of try to curate it so that, because they already are thinking of a theme. And so they try to curate films of the pull films they got to fit the theme that they're thinking of. But sometimes you don't just have the films to do that. Sometimes the films themselves inform what the theme is going to be. And I like to think about it when I have all the films selected, and then we can start picking in like what's the theme's going to be. Sometimes when you put a program together, naturally they just work together. I think a lot of that too is like just the experience of the programmer. Like they kind of instinctually know this is going to go with this. Or you get to the point where you don't even think about it. It just kind of works out. Some festivals don't really curate it out that way. They just kind of like put out a program of the best films they got, and then they just kind of put them together to a program. I do think that audiences appreciate a theme in a program because it helps them kind of put all the films in context as they're watching as well. So again, it's like every festival does a different. Not all of them even theme out. I've done festivals where they just call it program one.
Right. That's what I was saying. 1 and 2. Yeah, it's just like block 1, block 2.
I think one year at Chicago Underground we did program blocks where we named them after like snippets of a novel, and I can't remember what novel it was. And we kind of try to program it to the quote from the novel as much as possible, but again, it depends on the programmer and what the festival is looking for, and what you're also kind of like working in tandem with your artistic director, because they all also have like something in mind of what they want to do. And I've worked with several artistic directors, and obviously they all have kind of their own way of wanting to do things and how to program it. And that all comes in conjunction with what the audience for your festival is expecting. So it's you have to keep that all in mind as a programmer when you're putting these things together.
Yeah, I think that's really true, because I also, I program XL Fest, and then I help to program Midwest Film Festival. Raul's running. I come in once we get to a certain level, and then like we start to put, like we sat there for like 4 or 5 hours one night, just like, and we're putting things together and all the programs, and then on the day that we needed a lock program, right? Takes a long time, and it is fun. It's really cool to see it come together, and it's kind of what I would say is like relief art. It's like you're chipping away at it, and then all of a sudden there's like this beautiful, monument. With the XL Fest, I was like figuring it out, because it's a newer festival. Like, how am I going to do this? I knew the energy I wanted around the festival was to be, this is a Black-owned BIPOC festival for, it's like for the people. Like, it is for the love, for the healing, for the joy, for the, we have for the future. And it's like Afrofuturistic. And I work to get, and I'm like, okay, do we have enough to put into these categories? And that becomes a challenge when you put yourself into boxes too. It's something that I play around with and still work to see, like, we're in year 3, like, what is the best way to do that in that festival? And then with Midwest Film Festival, I think it is something, especially this year with programming everything for 5 days, we're able to program a lot more films. People think that doing it monthly, you would have more films. We're actually able to program a lot more films doing it in a traditional format, which is really exciting. But that being said, for instance, I know, Raul, you were like, we got a lot of really awesome horror films. I think we have enough to make a horror block. And that's how things started to kind of materialize, right? And it was really exciting. It was like, we have like a high noon horror block that we're doing that is so exciting. And it just kind of comes together, I think, and so I think that's really cool to think about, like, how other festivals are doing it as well, and everybody does it a little bit differently, right? But when you have a very specific mission at Chicago Latino Film Festival, and how do you balance how the categories that you create and how you program with the mission, like, the content and the mission, and working to keep those working in tandem?
Yeah, it is challenging in terms of there are 2 different ways of getting movies. So one is, naturally, we have our 42nd edition. So people just know about the festival and they submit their movies into our platform. But the other way, and I love this part, is I like to hunt some movies as well, because I know if I don't go after them, it is there is few probabilities that they will reach to us. And right. It is also the necessary movie that we request for that we really want our audience to check. So I do have a very good example for our last festival. We just got the first stop motion movie from Mexico. I Am Frankelda. And oh my God, it was so hard to get that one because I really was like looking after it, because I really knew we are just bringing literally the top and the latest that it has been done in Mexico, but also it has had like a huge recognition. So, and I knew our audience was craving for that movie. So I really went after that one. But on the other hand, as you were saying, for the Latino community, film is also about healing.
Yeah.
And we also do have a lot of story drama-based, that reflects what happens in our society. We do have like heavy documentaries on what's going on in a political situation in a certain country. So it's hard to balance how hard it is to be. Currently, the Latino community, it's being targeted in a way.
In many ways.
So I just wanted to have the feeling of we are showing what we are showing our stories, but we also want to have the great feeling of being in a festival.
Yeah.
We want the festival to bring joy.
Right.
And we don't want the people all the time, to go there and leave the theater sad or crying. So it's also the way on how we think and care about the audience.
Yes.
Caring about our audience. And the other thing that we do is that we connect that I don't know if another festival may do this the same, but in our case, in the Chicago Latino Film Festival, we match one short film and one feature film. So when actually the people buy one ticket, if the film is featured with a short film, you get the chance to see two projects.
And you always do that? You pair two together?
Correct.
Oh,
correct.
Cool.
And we do that because we also want to give the proper opportunity to short film directors.
Yeah, that's really smart.
Because we just want to show them two projects, and we work so hard to find the way on how to connect properly the feature and the short film.
Yeah, what does that look like?
Correct. So then the audience gets ready. With the short film, the audience gets ready on what's going to happen next. And fortunately, we have had the chance of having directors coming to Chicago. Last edition, we had over 68 visitors, international visitors. Sometimes we got the chance to get in the same room for our Q&A session, the short films director with the feature film director. And then you see that there is a connection.
Yeah.
It could be either topic or, some sort of character or situation related, but there was a connection, like a hidden connection that we as programmers, we try to find that red knot that is not visible for anyone, but when you can see it, you just feel it and say, oh, this goes very good together. And then you get into the mood of the film and the short film and the message, and hits differently.
That's so incredible. When you think about programming, and this is for both of you, and Raul, really, because you program so many different things, how do you know that the audience is going to have an appetite for what it is that you're programming?
When you start programming for a festival, what I like to do, especially like the first couple years, I like to sit in with the audience, because then I can get a feel. I mean, I also kind of know already ahead of time, like what the festival is looking for. Even when I first started, Midwest, I kind of already knew what they were doing, because I've been to screenings before, so kind of knew what they were looking for and what they were doing. So that kind of informed me of what I want to look for the festival and what I want to program. Of course, it's different with all different festivals. I mean, when I was doing the After Dark series for Chicago International, I was programming that specific program for a specific audience, subset of the audience of that festival. And so, yes, you want a program, because the After Dark program for them was, sci-fi horror genre films, weird stuff, and different from the weird stuff that we program at Chicago Underground. That's totally different weird stuff over there. But so I was asked to do that program because I had a reputation for programming that kind of genre stuff
weird
already.
Stuff.
Yeah, weird stuff. So I already knew what the audiences were looking for. So I was looking for films that those audiences really wanted to look for, wanted to watch. So I already kind of have a direction of how I wanted to program that. And, like when I did the Des Moines Latino Film Festival last year, I kind of already, I asked, like, how's the audience, like the population of the Latinos in Des Moines, what are they looking for? And that kind of informed me of what I wanted to program for them, because I knew that they were looking for certain things. And so I programmed it the way I thought that the audience was going to react to it. And obviously that's that programming was a little bit easier because they're not a very big festival.
Mm-hmm.
I think I programmed 5 features for them and then a bunch of shorts. Again, I try to inform myself as much as possible to like what they programmed before, what that audience was looking for. And I asked them, like, what are you guys looking for, like, in particular? So
I would also say like screening committees, right?
Right.
Like it was like, do y'all have a screening committee?
Yes, a short film and a feature film.
Okay.
So at the end, we are like around 15 people working on the programming in different roles. But I wanted to add to what Raul said, that trying to find the good thing for your audience is working with colleagues. Working with other people that are working in other festivals. And we get the chance of see also in our Latino Film Festival, science fiction from Latin America, horror movies from Latin America, animation movies from Latin America. So I'm sure if Raul is checking something in particular that for X or Y reason doesn't fit, we just need to create this network between us just to get like, it might not work for my festival at this time, but let me build the bridge too.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
And that is a lot
programmers.
of the secret of it, because just to get together and to give the movie and a director the opportunity of getting new audience. It's hard to find in Chicago. You're not gonna find our movies somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's just a one chance opportunity. We screen it twice, so that's where the audience will get the chance to watch it. So in a way, working with colleagues, it's also opening the door for more movies and to other stories and to feed our programming like between us. And
that's
to
really
make it important and make it also suitable for each particular audience.
Right. And just like, sharing what you're watching, what you're programming as well. And I love, Raul, what you had said about our screening committee. Like, you think of them as the audience, like, and how we're looking, because there's things that you and I, for the most part, will have like similar taste in things. And then there'll be some that we fully don't agree on. And then we go like, okay, with the screening committee saying like, I don't like that they do. So it's like, okay, they're the audience. And that kind of
and that's how you usually look at screening committees. Like, they're the audience because they're not professional programmers. But they're there to watch stuff and recommend to us. And so I see them as they're the audience. They're like they represent the audience that we want to serve.
Right. So I think it's really important for listeners to understand that a film festival is about so much more than just the films. It is absolutely, the heart of it is always films and filmmakers, but the decisions that we have to make as programmers is a much larger decision that's based on what's good, like sponsorships, networking, all the different workshops and the venues and the partners that we bring into the space all play a part in it so that we can keep the ecosystem alive. That's the reality of the situation. In order for it to continue to move on, we have to think about, okay, who is this serving? First, of course, always the community and the mission aligned service, but everything that has to go around that in order to make sure that we can do the work and that that what we're creating, we'll find the right sponsors that have the appetite to help that happen. Because our goal, is like, the Chicago Latino Film Festival as well is a nonprofit.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, right. It's like our goal is not to make money off the people that are coming through the door. It's to make sure that we have the programming to give them what they need, and that we're working to make sure we're taking care of the people who are creating it. So there's a few things that you had mentioned. One, we talked about time, why time is so important, like with short films and feature films, the length that they need to be. I think that's the biggest miss that filmmakers really, really have no understanding about when they submit. I know you said there's no more than 20 minutes, which is the same with us for our feature length, for our shorts, rather. Though we've had we did one year, we had like 30-minute ones.
Yeah, we did like 4 or 5 minutes.
30-minute ones, something like that, or 4.
Yeah, something give or take.
Yeah.
And this is something that I stress to filmmakers that I talk to. Through the year, I talked to a lot of student filmmakers at the pod Northwestern. I've talked to students, and I tell them like length is very important when you submit. And I tell them like straight up, like if you're going to do a 30-minute short, you're probably not going to get programmed.
You're not. You're
gonna
not getting programmed.
I've gotten 50 minutes. We've gotten 50 minutes, like just short of a feature length. And it's really hard to program.
Right. And it can be really good. And it's like, this is
it could
so
be really good.
Right.
Yes. And
so
there was
painful.
one in particular I remember where it was really good. And it was only 15 minutes. It's like really hard to program. But, and you know, I also tell filmmakers, like, yes, I don't want, you got to think about your artistic vision and like, you feel that it's 30 minutes, then make it 30 minutes. But also be aware that programmers are probably not going to program you at 30 minutes because we have to fit so many films in a shorts program. We can't just put 1 30-minute in like 3, 10 minutes because
right,
it just doesn't work.
Feel like
it doesn't work.
I think a lot of what folks don't understand and like what you kind of been talking about, like the tapestry that we're creating, like because when we're talking about themes and how we put things together, there's a tapestry of art that takes place as a film programmer that people don't understand. Even the order that you're putting the films in, it in and of itself tells its own story. The programs that we put together tell their own story collectively. All of those little pieces that we're thinking about, that we get excited about, that people love, they may not understand why they love it, but there's so much thought that goes into it. And I think a lot of what they forget, or not even forget, just don't know, is that we do have to consider that we not only would it feel like kind of off if like one is really long and then the rest are shorter, that we also have to think about with short films. As you said, you pair one with a feature film. And the reason for that is because most places don't have an appetite to distribute short films. It's not going to happen. They're not going to get that attention. So in order for us to get people's eyes on those short films, we need those butts in the seats. So we can have a program of 7 to 10 short films. Each of those filmmakers are the evangelists for the films. We know that the film festival is going to have full seats, which then that means we can pay everybody. That means we can keep doing this and we can keep making this a viable space for you to come and show your work. There is a business behind it. It was like, and I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. And like, well, it was really good. And to your point, Raul, it's like, it's like if you know that yours is it needs to be 30 minutes, not taking that away from you, just consider like, what do you want to do with it? And if you're going on the festival circuit, it's probably not going to work. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. So if you could give any advice to young filmmakers right now, outside of, I would say the sweet spot for short films is 12 minutes. That's my hot take. 12 minutes or less is my hot take. Those are really, that's like, do y'all have a sweet spot time for short films?
I would say, like, I know budget is tight, so get different ways into open the chances of being selected by applying into the right festival for your short film. So study and check prior year's program of different festivals. Mm-hmm. Of course, I'm not saying don't target the big ones, but also give the chance to other festivals that might not be as big, but you could get better chances of being selected. That's one. The other one is please fill all the information of your submission.
Your film freeway and make it correct.
Make it correct, make it right. Fill all the form because that is also important. And please send the final version of your short film. It had happened not once, not twice, that the short film or feature film has potential, but then you could see as a programmer that it's not ready. Mm-hmm. It hasn't been finished. So if it's not finished, don't submit it because you are killing the opportunity.
Yeah, that's good.
So just make sure that it's ready for the festival. It's ready to go.
What's your sweet spot for a short film time? Like, what is your... Because I know it's more than 20 minutes, but what is, like, as a programmer, what do you feel the sweet spot is?
I think about the 15 minutes.
Okay.
But if it's an animated, I know that's gonna be harder.
Yeah.
So for animation, might be like 10.
Right. Yeah. So shorter is better. Like, I'm always like 12, sweet spot. If it's in anything shorter, amazing. Yes.
Yeah. And sometimes you can just get really good stories in very short time.
Yeah, 2-3 minutes.
And that is also incredible. Just, it's very hard to find those. And when you get it, it's like jewel.
It is a jewel, and it's very easy to program because you can just tack it onto anything, right? Raul, so what's your sweet spot for what you think a short film is like the easiest to program? And then what is the advice that you would give to young filmmakers right now?
For me, I think the sweet spot is like, mine's more broader. It's like 10 to 20.
Okay.
Is my sweet spot. Usually 15 is really like you want to go for that 15-minute mark. I think that's the best, in my opinion. Like I was saying, I talked to a lot of young filmmakers In fact, I had a workshop at Filmscape last weekend to think about how do do your film submission. And so I tell young filmmakers like that I want to submit to festivals is like, do your research first. Like Sandra was saying, like do your research, what festivals are looking for. Make sure that the festival is showing stuff that you made. Like don't send your horror film to like the comedy film festival. No, but and there are
true.
there are filmmakers that do like submit to like 30, 40 festivals. They don't look. They just submit blindly. You're just wasting money. I do tell a lot of filmmakers like not to really bother with the top festivals because your chances are very low unless you already have a connection to the festival. Most film festivals, most of these larger top tier festivals, a lot of the films that they program is either filmmakers that have already shown at the festival or filmmakers that have gone through their labs, stuff like that. I mean, like Sundance, like if you cold blind send your movie to Sundance, you have less than a 1% chance of getting in. You're just giving them free money.
Right.
And they get like 14,000 submissions. Like your chances are very low. They're a very highly curated festival. The same thing with like Tribeca's highly curated. Like all the big ones. So I always tell filmmakers go for the middle film festivals. Some really great middle film festivals that are great for filmmakers. Palm Springs, one that just comes to mind because it's been kind of prominent the past couple of years. Do your research on film festivals. Make sure they take the films you want to submit and you made, and submit early. Do not ever submit late, because if you submit late, you're paying like double the price, and then also by the time you submit late, the festivals have programmed already.
That's so true. And it's like, and you might be that needle in the haystack that we're looking. Sometimes we'll get those late ones that are like, thank God.
That does happen.
It does happen, but the likelihood is
very low.
Right, because by the time, you're right, the late submission, we're already down the road with it. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
And it's like, so just know what you're getting yourself into. So we've talked about so much of what you do, which we get to do really cool things, and I'm so excited about that. How blessed are we to do the work that we get to do? I want to know, in your life right now, what you're loving, what you're leaving, and what you're longing for.
I think I'm loving this job at this moment of my life. As you were saying, I think we're blessed of doing what we do. I think I'm leaving thoughts that didn't allow me to go further. Like sometimes, like we are our own limit.
Yeah.
And our thoughts. So maybe I'm working on that, just to leave that behind and say like, oh, whatever, we're going to just try. And if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. So, and I'm looking forward of what will come next. We have the 43rd edition of the festival, and we have a huge change. Just our founder and executive director, Pepe Vargas, that has been the lead of the festival for the last 42 years.
Wow.
He just stepped down. Wow. And it is a huge step for the festival. So I'm glad that I had the chance to learn from him a lot for the last 4 years, and excited of what will come next.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that, Sandra. How about you, Raul? What you
I'm loving the World Cup.
Okay, yeah.
That's a good one.
That's
a good
and I know
one.
it's not film related, but
it doesn't have to be.
That's been occupying my time besides the program for Chicago Underground right
And you
now.
had tickets, right? Did you get them going?
No, I did not go. So I had tickets for the Argentina-Algeria game, and I was telling my partner, if my tickets go up to 1,000, I'm selling them.
And they did?
Well, they did go up to 1,000. I sold them in a week, but Messi had an amazing game. And I know this might not mean to anything to film people, but Messi had an amazing game. The game that I was supposed to be at.
Oh, and you're like,
and
dang.
and then my dad called me. He's like, you should have went.
Why? So,
but
you're loving the World Cup. What are you leaving?
I don't know. I'm leaving one festival and starting another one, apparently.
As long as you ain't leaving ours.
It's like every 4 months I have another thing to start. But I'm looking for, so I have a big event coming up. I'm looking forward to that later this year. Part of a book called Luchadores Are Everything. And it's about the journey of my friend Viviana, whose family made those Mexican wrestling films. The book is about her journey of restoring those films and her family making those films.
Oh, wow.
And so I have a piece in the book.
That's dope.
So I'm going to be doing a big event later this year where we're going to be doing a book signing and then screening So that's in the plan, but that's what I'm looking for later on this year. That's a big thing that I'm planning out. So that's what I'm looking forward to after I do all this other stuff.
Amazing. I am loving the teams that I'm working with. From the podcast team, y'all are so incredible. I just absolutely in love. And the team that I work with at the festival right now, just loving, and my agents, everybody that's on all sides, I just am absolutely enamored and in love. I am leaving this broken foot of mine. I am longing for a very offline vacation.
Ooh.
Just offline, can't find me.
Do you have it ready?
No.
Have you got it?
We kind of look. My friends are looking at Barcelona in October, so a little Barcelona in my life.
I am looking forward to the festival.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so looking forward to the festival
because I think it's going to be exciting because it's something new.
It's absolutely. It's going to be the dopest. If y'all got to be there. July 22nd through the 26th. You don't want to miss it.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it because it's something that we're trying for the first time, and this is something I've never programmed before. And the other festivals I program at, there's a team.
Right.
And then this is a smaller team of me and you, mostly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh,
okay,
yeah.
so...
No, people think there's a large machine behind Midwest Film Festival. There's like 2.5 of us.
Oh, my God.
Lots of lovely people.
So,
Okay,
when that came up earlier last year about that we were going to do it this way, I really wanted that challenge because that's something that I never done before. So I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you so much, Raul. Thank you for tuning in. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to Real Wisdom. You can find us at RWNK and find us at MidwestFilm.com. Sign up for the newsletter, find out everything that's going on. When you were watching the episode, you heard all these things I was asking of these incredible humans. And one of the things that I'd asked Raul and said I was going to come back to was volunteerism and how his career really started with him volunteering. We always need volunteers in anything we do in every sector of the community. And film festivals are no different than that. And it's an incredible way for you to get involved with the festival. It's an incredible way to meet people. It's an incredible way to be of service. And it's an incredible way to really jumpstart your career. So don't overlook the opportunities to get into the space, to be of service, to meet people you love, and to see films that'll change your life. Only at Midwest Film, I think. Join us this year to experience Midwest Royale, Midwest Film Festival's new expanded 5-day traditional festival format. Starting this Wednesday, July 22nd, celebrate this incredible new era by stepping into our 21st anniversary celebration at Rivers Casino. Our opening night features a short showcase of our BMA Grand Prize nominees, a VIP party lounge, cocktails, and an exclusive live taping of Heartland to Hollywood conversation with Joe Mignoso, star of Chicago Fire. From July 23rd to July 25th, join us at the historic Ramova Theater, our new festival home, for dynamic activations, industry panels, and a full lineup of Midwest cinematic excellence that you won't want to miss. We'll conclude this monumental week on July 26th at Cinecity with our 21st annual Best of the Midwest Award and fundraising gala. This is the ultimate celebration of regional cinema, featuring live music, delectable bites, open bar, and the biggest networking night of the year. And here's the most important part. None of this can be done without you. We're a nonprofit organization that operates for the people by the people. So unlock your phone right now, go to MidwestFilm.com, purchase your tickets, and make a donation today. We thank you for your support, and we look forward to meeting you in person at Midwest Royale. The July 22nd opening night event at Rivers Casino is open to guests 21 and older, not valid for any participant of the Illinois Gaming Board statewide voluntary self-exclusion program. Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.